Day 2 of the Overwatch League 2021 playoffs is about to begin, and we are one step closer as well to deciding who's going to be our 2021 champions coming up at the end of this week. Teams will also be eliminated, going home, away, the season done and dusted for good. The first two matches of the day, in fact, and we're starting with the Washington Justice versus the Atlanta Reign. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm Brennan Hook. I'm joined by Joshua Wilkinson as well. You're getting into the Hawaii spirit.
I really am. I'm getting excited for this as well. It's our last chance for one of these teams to give them the good old Hawaii welcome and goodbye. So that's the spirit that I've got in. Plus, I saw Mr. X dressed as a tiger yesterday, and I thought I couldn't let him have all the fun, could I?
Was it a tiger?
I don't know.
It was a cheetah, I think, wasn't it?
Sure.
I'm not familiar with the patterns of animals, and I don't know anyway. I mean, he was definitely doing some sort of impression, but regardless of all that, it's more important things on the line to talk about other than Mr. X Morello. And that's the game of Overwatch here. The Washington Justice versus the Atlanta Reign. This match right here is an elimination match. One of these teams, it's going to be their season on the line, Josh. One of them's going home. It does feel too early. Day 2 of the Overwatch League playoffs, and yeah, we're already sending teams home.
It is incredible, isn't it? Both of these teams have done so well over the course of the season to even get into this position. Atlanta Reign have been to Hawaii 3 times before in the past. It seems almost inconceivable that they would end up slipping out in this route. But that's what Washington Justice are here for. That's their kind of playoff spirit that they have behind them. They weren't able to get it done yesterday, either of these two teams, but now they're off for something fierce today.
Yes, absolutely. Without further ado, I want to introduce our first team as well. Let's raise some hell, I suppose, for the Washington Justice.
This team is absolutely jacked. The Justice right now are about to drop the gavel. Baby turns up very clutch. Been saved.
Water boom! That's all closer.
The Washington Justice make a splash. That's a fat shatter.
What a play from Mag.
Decay for 3. Oh my goodness.
Fury, this is absurd.
Assassin! It's huge. Absolutely massive from Assassin.
And the Washington Justice definitely going to be hoping that they can raise some hell in this matchup here today. They've looking, honestly, there's the kind of mystery and aura that surrounds the Washington Justice every time they get into these playoff scenarios, that they might just come alive and become a force of nature that nobody was predicting.
Yeah, people really do believe in them. They believe in the superstition, and it certainly follows this team around, partly because they have Decay on the roster.
Yeah.
And everyone respects Decay. It doesn't matter what team you're on, you've got to put respect on this guy's name. It feels like at any point he could wake up and just be summoned like a demon from the underworld and take over the game. It really does. Decay is a phenom. We know that he's got that kind of capability to just hard carry matches, and woe behold you if you are the one that stands in his path when he suddenly wakes up like that. So far, we haven't really seen Decay in that god mode yet, but it feels like it could just turn up at any point.
Yeah, this matchup that we're about to witness as well, it might come down a lot to these DPS players. And let's introduce the other team that they're going to be playing against here in this elimination match of the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Atlanta Reign. The Atlanta Reign, cool, calm, and collected, answering back with pick after pick. Atlanta Reign with some absurd DPS performances. Gator lays down the shadow. That is beautiful. Oh! My God. It's like, okay, well, Pelican's down. Time to step up, I guess. Headshot after headshot after headshot.
Stunning defensive work.
Oh, my goodness.
It's devastating how good Pelican is. Kai! He gets 2! And Hawk with the self-destruct. The Atlanta Reign, they're looking straight at the top, Matthew.
And it was a bloody close game for the Atlanta Reign the other day as well, but they are here now in this elimination in the lower bracket, fighting for their tournament lives here against the Washington Justice. Definitely more than capable, though, of bouncing back off the back of it and potentially going on a bit of a run of things here.
They are certainly the team that came the closest in our lower bracket to making it through and knocking a different team down in their place. That one went to a map 5 yesterday against the Chengdu Hunters, and I thought that the Reign played a pretty spectacular game. There was a lot of chaos going on in the midst of that match, and Atlanta still playing some unconventional stuff. The desk highlighted how much they want to see Mag against Gator when it comes to the Reign matchups. I was particularly impressed by Pelican. I feel like a broken record saying it at this point, but he is the Rookie of the Year for a reason, and despite the fact that he isn't with them, he cannot be with the team right now in Hawaii. Nevertheless, playing on high ping, what was it, 120 that Esk was saying yesterday? 120 ping, and he's still putting up performances like that. This boy is excellent at Overwatch, and he is going to fight with everything he's got to make sure the Reign continue this playoffs run.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is built differently. Honestly, the DPS lineups on both of these teams as well. I mean, I think they're really just instrumental in terms of the success that a lot of these teams have as well. We talk about Decay and Assassin as well, having good matches comparatively to Kai and Pelican as individuals. A lot does lie on their shoulders. Well, heading to Nepal is the first map in this particular game as well. And remember, loser picks as well. So the map's still to be determined as we get further into the series.
And a lot of the map picks do come down to the style that teams like to play. And the desk highlighted the Reinhardt matchup. I want to highlight a different matchup here. The Zombie Comp matchup. Both teams playing Lucio Moira with that Winston Diva. I think that could certainly be an option for teams, or for both of these teams, as we get deeper into this series. As for what style they go towards, the Washington Justice are probably going to be dragging us more towards those Winston-based comps, but the Atlanta Reign are very capable, very happy, comfortable playing that kind of style of Overwatch too. I think these teams match up phenomenally, and they're giving us an amazing game. I'm so confident of it. As long as the Washington Justice actually turn up, this is going to be, what did you call it yesterday? A gigabanger.
Gigabanger? Yeah.
Gigabanger. Mitch
then used,
from that?
He coined the term. Mitch actually coined it yesterday.
He did?
He said that if that was a gigabanger, this is going to be a yotta banger.
A yotta banger,
yeah,
okay.
And what goes beyond that, I don't know.
No, I'm afraid I'm not good enough with Greek prefixes. I don't even know. Is that Greek? Is that Latin?
I'm not sure where it comes
from. Don't have a clue. We are uncultured.
And also unconscious, apparently, at times. I don't know. Yeah, I'm very excited for these two matchups. It seems like the Western teams as well, in particular, are really leaning heavily into these rush comps, these zombie comps, a lot of it rotating around a Lucio gameplay, and it means we get a bit of a brawl right off the bat. The teams are not wasting any time. They've dove straight into it. You can see the Maywalls has been brought right up as well. Pelican looking to try and at least separate a couple of members here of the Washington Justice, moving around. Decay needs to stay alive. He's very, very low. Nice freeze into multiple targets. The Justice, though, it's going to be Bebe using that immortality field pretty early on here, but they're pretty split up as it stands. Assassin taken out, and Decay separated from the rest of their team. Losing that initial player. Hawk also getting demech though, so not over just yet.
Bebe actually pops the Matrix, got it. And around the same time as Iris, who's choosing not to invest, Iris tries to hold on to his abilities, onto his immortality field if possible, to save them for later on in the fight, generally speaking. And what I'm noticing in these early engagements is how much Pelican dictates the fight. His May has been the best in the league this year. Often gets overlooked because it's not as flashy when you compare it to his other stuff, but he is so smart on how he uses all of those May abilities.
Symbol up, Kai goes down. What a shatter from Gator. Oh my goodness. Closer just about getting the Soundmire off with the pin, but there's nothing going to be saving you from that. It's going to be the trade at the end of the day. The main tank's falling. The Justice heavily favored in this upcoming team fight that's going on currently, finding all the pickoffs they need as well off of it, but just now need to clean them all up so they can eventually flip this point back over. You can see the Atlanta Reign are going to be getting into the fight pretty quickly off the back of the respawns, but this is just a staggered attempt to just drag some extra percentage out.
Yeah, a great work there, and also a good punish onto Iris too. But honestly, 47% from the Atlanta Reign, considering they only won a single team fight, and even that was a close one. The Justice kind of got bullied off the objective there by Atlanta. So now, Justice on the defense. They're going to have an Ant Matrix. Fire Strike through the Ant Matrix, very common way of trying to hold back this push. And then Assassin can look for value from his Blizzard as well. The defensive Maze almost always going to have a better setup for that, but there's a...
Oh! Matt goes down, lays down the Earth Shatter. He's going to be taken out though. Massive finishes him off. There's going to be the Symbol splitting them all up. As well as that, the Blizzard did not get too much done. Assassin tried to lock them all up, but it is a heavily won team fight there for the Atlanta Reign.
Yeah, that is enormous. The Atlanta Reign got value out of all of the ults that they pushed in with their closer. The desk highlighted the very rare Lucio head-to-head. So let's take a look at things from Masa's point of view here as well. The beat was perfect, and look at Closer. Only at 70% of his beat at the same time as Masa is using his first one. That is a crucial difference, and it's one of the ways in which Closer was getting the advantage occasionally in that first match.
That's a fast rotation around the side though to Justice. They don't want to give up any time. There's the Sim wall, and the May wall just to block them off. Self-destruct into the back. Kai somehow gets taken out from it. Gator, he might have to let rip this ultimate, but he's going to be falling surely any minute now with the immortality field gone. He's so low, and the pressure is just immense. The Washington Justice eventually take him out Closer, trying to stay alive as well, just moving around the various points of the map. It is going to be eventually to flip over here as the Justice taking it with a bit of pace there, right round the corner, able to wrangle back that team fight under their control.
Oh, look at Masa's ultimate charge though. He's at 75% to his next sound barrier. Closer is still holding on to his. We're about to get in a scenario where Atlanta might be able to get double the amount of sound barriers available just because they're more happy to use them in the team fights. Pelican also further ahead when it comes to their ult. But look at Assassin's position. That's sneaky. He's up top, back with the rest of his team now.
Yeah, ends up using the teleport there just to chop and change the position. The Amp Matrix has dropped down as well. That's Baby just trying to get something done with it. It does force out the immortality field. Pelican now using that blizzard. It does force out again that sound barrier from Closer to keep everybody alive. The Earth Shatter uninterrupted, only going to be getting the one onto Hawk, and it does force out the sound barrier now from Masa, keeping them all alive, but locked up in place anyway. Still, the damage is being done because nobody's dealing with Kai this entire time. The DPS is just popping off right now, fully charged up. It comes to the Symmetra play. Cage playing this quite smart, but Atlanta Reign are in control of the objective and the point for now. 99% going to the overtime with Bebe falling. A lack of heals now and damage. Washington Justice might find this quite difficult to try and close out, especially with Closer falling in that fashion.
They desperately need Assassin to do something. He's back on the Doom, but he hasn't been able to get any damage done. He messes up his seismic slam as well.
No
the engage, no cooldowns. He looks lost.
Yeah, can't really do anything into that one. That's going to be the overtime, whittling down into nothing. And round number one goes to the Atlanta Reign here. Very, very back and forth between both of these teams. It's kind of deceptive in a way, honestly, with the pace that you take team fights when you're running these compositions as well. It feels like it's almost never ending.
I hate to give credit to Jonathan Reinforced Larson's blooming champagne toast or whatever he was doing out there in Hawaii.
Yeah.
But Masa really was huge for them in that round. The fact he got 2 sound barriers out, that second one he just got right as Mag landed the Earth Shatter, and it allowed Atlanta Reign to maintain all of the space that they had on the objective, push the Washington Justice away, and win the team fight and win the round in the end. Masa is performing like a beast on the Lucio so far.
Yeah, an underappreciated role most of the time, but definitely been a difference maker. Closer was also a difference maker almost in their match the other day. He was definitely playing particularly well. The series not over by any stretch of the imagination. See both teams as well. The Washington Justice have a bit of an early lead in terms of their positioning, taking a bit more of the point here, but both teams are just kind of waiting to engage, probably for some key cooldowns to come offline before they end up committing, maybe for one of them to overstep themselves. They can catch them with the May walls. That's what either side is really looking for. With Kai falling again, though, it gives them a massive advantage. The Justice, well, they just lock up the point just like that. They flip it over. It's a team fight that really just can't be taken. Now we see a bit of pace being taken.
Whoa.
Bebe ends up falling, though, and Takei, he has been split up from the rest of them. The Atlanta Reign, they just bait them in and absolutely crunch them.
How on earth does that happen? Atlanta was so ready. Wait a second, Decay's being able to turn this one, though.
I mean,
he is doing so much damage in this fight. He's just fully charged up.
My God.
Taken down 3 and saved the Justice for a moment. I mean, this ended up being just a Symmetra 1v1. Sure, Decay backs off, but he's just regrouping with the rest of the team. And the Justice have won this team fight.
No way! And Pelican commits to Blizzard. The team's coming around the flank. Is it enough? The ultimate! It gets cancelled! No, it does not. Decay ended up slamming it down anyway, but it's going to be useless. Already the kills flooding in for the Atlanta Reign, and with one final Earth Shatter, that might just drop him for good. Decay's out. Now the self-destruct, the pin from downtown. Hawk is taken out of the mech, but the Atlanta Reign are going to be wrangling back the team fight anyway.
That is an absolutely bizarre opening to Village. I don't think I've ever seen the fights go out in that kind of way. Pelican's also swapped off to the Doom in the midst of all of that chaos, trying to clutch the team fight, and now he's kind of stuck on it. It's not like he can go back to the May very easily. May, not known for its ability to get back to the front lines quickly. And so now, Pelican's in a position where he needs to try and focus down Decay and take the fights earlier, quicker.
Yeah, we see the symbol being used as well. The Earth Shatter does connect onto a multitude of targets. Max just going to be going in for the charge with the counter pin, and he's taken out right against the wall. Pelican with the punch as well. It's going to be a slight miss there, but they just need to bring down the rest of these targets as Iris is definitely putting in the good work from the back line. Still in control of this point here. The Atlanta Reign, not too many ultimates committed for them either.
No, they made that one really clean. Good aggression from them. Like I said, when you have the Doom in your composition, you need to be taking fights faster. The longer they go on, the more the May can manipulate the course of the fight. That's an amazing backwards pin by Gator. Catches Mag just stepping a little too far forwards, and then Iris is there in the back line, unpressured, able to clean everybody up. Now the Justice are making their way to the point.
Yeah, before you know it, already another team fight being taken. Split across, Pelican on the point. Does have that meteor strike, lays it right down. Decay is so low, he's waiting for the next target, and there's the punch. Bebe ends up falling, has to back off around the corner, will eventually be pressured. He's about to survive, yeah, indeed, not going to be going down. It was a picture-perfect immortality field from Iris to be able to keep him alive as well, and they're going to get the stagger kill on top of it onto Fury. 93% encounter, the Atlanta Reign moments away from taking map number 1.
Assassin has had to move over to Tracer here just to try and keep the point alive. He touches, he's surrounded by sim turrets.
Yeah, has to use the recall. It's only going to trigger the overtime. Can anybody even touch this? Not going to be the case. The Washington Justice not able to get on top of it. The Atlanta Reign walking away with map number 1. Pretty dominating fashion, honestly. Massa with some huge moments on the Lucio as well, keeping his team in with some crucial ultimates.
And the Rhine head-to-head too, the kind of matchup that everyone salivates over, because both Mag and Gator play such an aggressive style. You wouldn't normally see the Rhines go for crazy shatters and pins across the map and counterpinning each other, but when these two teams get into the server, anything is possible. Where will we see the Justice take us next? To a map that favors the Winston and the Lucio Moira, perhaps? Or do they feel confident that they can try and take the Atlanta Reign in some of these more standard duels on the Reinhardt Rush? I'm so excited for what this rest of this series has to show us, Bren.
Yeah, we're certainly about to find out. The ball is in their court in terms of the map pick. We're going to go to a short break, and on the other side of things, of course, the series is going to be continuing. Do not go anywhere. You know you don't want to miss it.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, everybody. And now, before we get back to the game, we want to give a special shout out to everybody at the University of Hawaii at Manoa for being such wonderful hosts this season. Both the university and its esports club have been such a huge part of every Overwatch League tournament this year, and without their help, we wouldn't have been able to have such an incredible week of playoffs. So a big thank you again to the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Seems like a fantastic place to study as well. You know, you get the islands, the beautiful weather. It seems fantastic.
I think the other casters on the analyst desk are hating it, actually.
Oh yeah, no,
they look so down every time we go to them, and they're hanging outside, watching the surfers, chilling out. Every time we look at the players, you know, and when they're doing making the lays and things outside.
Sure.
Oh, everyone looks so down and miserable, don't they?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Brutal.
Are you sure you're not trying to convince yourself that you're not missing out? Anyway, the Atlanta Reign are not going to be thinking about that whatsoever. They're not really thinking about vacation time. They've got a match in front of them, and they are also playing live from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. This is their facilities that we are using as well to be playing this tournament. And right now, they are focused on the match at hand. They are currently leading one map in this series, but things might be about to change. It's the Washington Justice map pick. We're on Assault, and statistically as well over the course of the season, Assault is where the Justice have found most success, I think. It's around 66%, I believe, is their win rate when it comes to Assault, and it's actually one of the worst for the Atlanta Reign.
Well, that's a great sign if you're a Justice fan or you're a believer in that lower bracket run that seems to be promised whenever you see Decay around there in the playoffs. Anubis, though, it's a map where we are expecting to see the Washington Justice come out and play Winston comps, right? And most teams would try and run that with the Ana. Winston-Ana combos really nicely. I'm interested to see here whether we see Lucio Moira kind of setups. The reason being that both of these teams are very good at those kind of compositions. And I think the more Justice forces it in that direction, the more we might see the Atlanta Reign kind of decide, all right, we're perfectly happy to mirror. It wouldn't be standard for Anubis, I'm not saying that, but it is the composition that the Justice have played the most of throughout their play-ins run.
And if you were to have criticisms, I suppose, of the Washington Justice over the course of this playoff run, it seems like, yes, they haven't played that many matches, but they're pretty rigid in comparison to a lot of other teams that are in the playoffs in terms of what they like to play. They don't have that much flexibility.
Okay.
But this is a good sign. If the Atlanta Reign are going to be matching them as well, the Washington Justice, what they're playing right now, this is where they can be quite comfortable. They put Decay on a roll where he can really flex as well, a lot of his mechanical ability, and you start to see some signs of life here for the Washington Justice.
I think Atlanta Reign are so happy mirroring. Whatever comp Washington Justice decide to pull out here, Atlanta are perfectly happy, just ego dueling them. And as soon as Gator sees Mag on defense, there are a couple of options. You could commit to running the mirror rush, or you can try and run those Winston Ana comps, but Atlanta Reign have not been particularly great at them over the course of the season, so I would anticipate this just being rush v rush. Both teams mashing heads over that mega health kit on the left-hand side.
We'll see how it ends up. The Atlanta Reign slowly getting ready, going to use that teleport actually to skip through the choke point. Iris was at a different angle, had to be escorted in. Taking a bit of damage in the process, dealing a bit out as well, gets the healing done. Just trying to build up the amp matrix now as well, waiting for the initiation to come in. Teleport lined up. Kai's going to be sending his turrets over there. Instantly destroyed. It is a fake, and they've done enough damage. Mag is so low. The immortality field just about gets onto them to keep them alive, but Bebe forced down to the low ground. Assassin is taken out, and the Atlanta Reign pushing and pulling their opponents in exactly the direction they want. That opening pickoff, it's looking really promising for them to just win out this objective.
Washington are going to have an opportunity, I think, here to respond and try and retake, especially considering that they have that amp matrix available. Here they come. Decay already weak, though, as a result of this. Still hasn't got up to his dead eye. Mag isolated as well. Yeah,
there's nothing to support them. With the May wall in place as well, perfect from Pelican. It's a quick and easy teamfight win for them. Trading out the ultimates as well. There's amp matrixes on either side. The Atlanta Reign now with 5 minutes. Almost 6 in total.
And that's a crazy fast attack.
Yeah.
The teleporter fake was gorgeous in terms of their point A attack. So far, they haven't actually gone through a teleporter apart from past the first choke point. The next two that Kai laid down were both fakes. Let's see what the Washington Justice's response to one is here. You've got to anticipate that Kai's going to try and get value out of it, but whether that's a fake to the high ground or Whether they actually go through, it's a different question.
And again, these ice walls, look at this from Pelican. Again, Mag just with nowhere to run. The Blizzard has dropped down as a bit of an emergency escape. And it is good from them. Assassin able to just clutch it up from that singular ultimate. It has left the Atlanta Reign with a bit of an advantage when it comes to their ult economy, but at least they can say that they ended up fending them off for now.
It looked like Gator was going to be able to escape the Blizzard as well, but Closer, looping his way around those central pillars and columns, managed to boop the main tank of the Atlanta Reign back into his teammate's Blizzard. So at least they got value out of the ult and were able to clean up the team fight easily. But Atlanta have 6 ults. That's a great pick. That buys time for Closer and Mag to get their ultimates online and helps mitigate somewhat the ultimate advantage that the Atlanta Reign have. You can't really play aggressive as the team playing Sim, May, Rush. So for Washington, that pick is perfect. It just knocks another 10 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, and they get to build up a couple more ultimates, as you were saying. Very close to a few of them now, but the Atlanta Reign, they have a ton on top of it. What an Earth Shatter. Gator dropping it down. Soundbar is in play for both of these teams as well, just so that they can try and survive through it. But look at that, Mag just drops one of his own. And it did drop a couple of targets. Is it going to be enough, though? Doesn't look likely. Nice little self-destruct there. Massa will be taken out, but the Justice have lost a lot of players. It's going to be a bit of a stall effort now from Assassin. He does have the Blizzard.
Oh, it got
cancelled out as he ends up falling. Already 2 ticks in play. They have to try and stall this one out. They're going to be dropping the bodies onto the point of Justice, swapping over to a bit of desperation now. Mag is going to be on the wrecking ball just to try and stall this one up at the Atlanta Reign. I mean, they're in complete control of this. 3 minutes, 36 seconds.
Dominance in the Rush mirror as well. After map 1, the Washington are a bit bold trying to take it to Atlanta in their comfort zone again. But the player I want to highlight is Assassin. He's just having a brutal time of it. He's been first picked on point A, first picked on point B there again. The teleports, he's not reacting too quickly enough. He's not getting great value out of his walls. He's dying first, and then the Blizzard got cancelled. You can't have much worse of a May round than that.
Well, I will say, he did get that one pick for them.
He did.
Onto Kai.
Yep.
I will defend him a little bit.
That got them 10 seconds.
It did. I mean, 10 seconds, yeah.
But the biggest problem is when you're defending on Assault, your mistakes are way more important than your accomplishments. Sure. I suppose you could put it like that. If you get a pick, okay, great. If you die, that might be the whole round over.
Yeah.
And Assassin and the rest of his team not being able to reposition after the point A attack and the point B attack has led to a stonker of a time bank.
You want to participate in the live trivia as well, live.overwatchleague.com. Who leads the Reign in eliminations this season? I think I know the answer to this.
Well, I have an idea, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
Pelicans their star.
I'm not giving people hints.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's something that people won't expect.
Ooh.
There we go.
Well, let's take a look at this replay as well. This was how they engaged. They took the high ground off the back of that teleporter. Incredible May wall, and just dropped right on Assassin's head. And I don't want to put all of the blame on Assassin here, right? It's not exactly his fault, but it's that the entire team of the Washington Justice is not ready for the pace that Atlanta are playing at, and whether or not these teleporters are fakes.
They're going to get an opportunity here on the attacking side. They're going to want to set a comparable pace in terms of the time bank.
Good luck to them.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be tough. Teleporter goes through. Turrets as well. Decay just going to be firing away. Frozen up, though, into the back line. Has to take the TP. Chops and changes. So low, though. That's Kai's turrets taking him out. Atlanta Reign looking like they're winning this team fight. The Washington Justice can take any other players with them. Might be successful, but getting staggered out like this is not ideal. It means that they're going to be able to get their players back into the action pretty quickly.
Yeah, Massa will be speeding his way back to the front line, so no problems there for Atlanta. See the difference there in terms of their response to that fake teleport. Decay threw down the same fake TP, and yet Atlanta pushed forwards instead of backing off. And that meant all of their players were still grouped up. They called the bluff of the Washington Justice, and now we get the same kind of thing again. What does Decay opt to do this time around? And they do both have Matrixes here.
A lot of damage. Teleport is going to go down, and they are going to be taking it right away, but pushed off the high ground. What a boop. It's fantastic. Kai with the Symbol and the Matrix. They're all locked down onto the low ground here. I mean, the Justice, they've got nowhere to run here. I mean, it must have been a combination probably of both Massa and Hawk, I imagine, as well, that just kind of dislodged them away from it, but it just wins in the team fight.
It's fantastic positioning from Atlanta. You've got your most mobile people waiting for the boot. Let's take a look at the replay here as well. Oh, this is just Gator cleaning people up.
Yeah, just swinging away. Just swinging away.
At this point, the team fight is already lost just because of the positioning of the Justice. Atlanta are winning these team fights in the first 2 seconds just by responding to what Decay is doing. And look at this. It's painful. As soon as they come through. Oh,
good by Fury.
Beautiful eat on the Blizzard.
And now Atlanta Reign, they've got to try and bail them out, to be honest with you. Pelican is really deep behind enemy lines. Luckily, the team is there, but Ultimate's committed. Fury now, he sends over the self-destruct. It's not going to be catching anything. Swinging away, Fury is going to get demeched again. A cheeky play from the Atlanta Reign. Very heads up in terms of the reaction of Fury to be able to eat that one, but again, just not quite good enough.
Matt got a shatter off there onto a couple of people. And, I mean, look at the support ultimates. Bebe and Closer both used their ults in that team fight. It looks like a GG. We really do not see point A full holds now that so many teams have been running Winston Ana on Anubis. But now that we're back in the Rush Mirror, point A holds are really common. They're very feasible. Here's a desperation teleport straight to the objective from Washington.
I mean, they're completely locked up into the low ground. The Atlanta Rangers jump right on top of them. Bebe is gone, taken out. There's sound barrier on top of things as well. The Atlanta Reign have got a lot of health just to try and weather out through this team fight. They've lost a couple of players, mind. Now going to be, I think, in a 4v6 if the Washington Justice are able to get back in fast enough. But with Fury getting demeched and staggered, it's not looking good. This is just going to buy even more time for the Atlanta Reign to get back in.
It's tragic. Fury's going to respawn with only 25 seconds on the clock. That means someone else from the Washington Justice, they're going to have to regroup, probably go for the same teleport again, where they go underneath the archway straight to the objective, and they're going to be running straight into a Blizzard. A Blizzard and Amp Matrix from the high ground. There does not seem to be a good way that Justice can win this fight. It's not even like Decay is on a hero where he can clutch. He just has to stay alive and hope he gets value over time.
And now look at the pressure. Teleport straight to the point. They're going to have to start playing this, but Bebe left behind, taken out. The Blizzard was dropped, and they did manage to avoid it for the moment, but they've already lost one of their players. A crucial element to this fight. With Assassin gone, it's not looking likely. Mag drops down the Earth Shadow, but only Gator will be connected onto. And with the overtime now just dwindling down, that is a dominant map. The Atlanta Reign, oh, I mean, they're playing like they absolutely do not want to be leaving early.
Not a chance. Atlanta have done well in playoffs before. They've taken the scalps of a few decent teams in the past, and they're looking to add Washington Justice to their collection. Is this really where the playoff run ends for Decay in 2021? They have one last chance to hit the drawing board, change up the strategy, pick the map, and try to get back in this series. It would have to be a reverse sweep from here, and oh my, what a comeback it would be. The Reign are completely in control of this match for the moment.
Yeah, how do you come back from that after just being brutalized? A full hold on checkpoint A on Anubis.
How often do you see it?
You just don't, Josh. You just don't. It's rare. I mean, with the metacomps that we're seeing now, I suppose you can see it. I mean, we just saw it just now, but it's so difficult, I think, to bounce back from this one. But that is what makes champions at the end of the day, and this is the Overwatch League 2021 playoffs. If they were going to bounce back, it has to be now. It has to be on this next map right here, right now. I need to see something a little bit more here from the Justice. It's a little bit too one-dimensional, I think. They're getting locked in. If they've been only playing these Russian zombie comps and the Atlanta Reign are beating them in the mirror, you gotta pull something out now. We're gonna go to a short break, but on the other side of things, well, the series, it might be finished on the next map, and you don't want to miss it.
Their buff is just throwing. Their buff is just throwing.
Guys, Anubis is our best friend.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Guess what, everybody? The 2021 postseason is here. Head to overwatchleague.com/2021-playoffs to learn more about the full playoffs and the grand finals schedule, along with the drops headed your way. And you know you do not want to miss your chance to add to your Overwatch skin collection. So make sure you figure all of that out, link the accounts and all that good stuff, and yeah, start earning the skins and the tokens as well.
Here in this match, we need to see adaptations from the Washington Justice. They face elimination, one map remains, and so far, we haven't really seen them opt into Lucio Morio compositions, that which got them through the play-ins. Instead, they've tried to pin Mag up on what is statistically his best hero, the Reinhardt, and use their speed boost from Closer, their walls from Assassin to empower Mag. But I don't think as a team, they're at the same level as the Atlanta Reign. They're not thinking at the same tempo. They're not acting in a coordinated manner altogether. And it doesn't help Decay, their star player, if he's just walking around trying to track people on Sim. They have picked King's Row. Again, another quintessential Reinhardt map. Are we just going to run it until the wheels fall off? Just Rein until we die?
I think that would be a disappointing end to the Washington Justice. A team that was, at the beginning of the season, the expectations, I think, for this roster, with the talent that's on it right here, right now that we're witnessing, we know they are capable of very high heights. If they end up going out in a 3-0 fashion, if that's their season done, eliminated here today, I mean, it is a shame. But on the other side of things, the Atlanta Reign, they're looking hungry, I think, off the back of their recent loss. They do not want to be going out equally.
Yeah, Atlanta Reign are 4-0 all time against the Washington Justice. And if you consider the 2021 season success, Atlanta have made Hawaii. This is now their 4th time. They made 3 of the 4 stage finals as well.
Yep.
How many did Washington make? That's a big old goose egg, baby.
Yeah.
So there's a big reason why the Atlanta Reign have been the more consistent team over the course of the season. They have more compositions under their belt. Their pace of game has become way higher. And they look like a well-coached squad as well. Something that I don't think we would have been able to say in the past for this team, because they relied so much on that individual prowess. Here we see them on attack as they look to try and cement their place one step closer through the lower bracket. Kai and Pelican beginning things on double sniper here just to get a look at what the Justice are running.
Yeah, a potential pick that might have been in order. And there was a little statistic as well that was at the bottom of your screens that this is the Atlanta Reign. When they play on hybrid maps, they perform best. The Washington Justice is one of their worst. If they are to come back from this, if they perform the reverse sweep here, they'd be defying a lot of the odds and expectations coming their way. But they have to do it now. This is the 2021 Overwatch League season for them on the line, and look at that aggression jumping straight down onto them. Mag is going to get traded, but they do take down Kai. If they can bring down Gator, who's frozen up, holding the shield though for but a moment, it is going to get bursted down. No one has been dealing with Decay, and he's just free to farm away with the beam, fully charged up.
Mag, though, has hit the ground, and part of the reason Mag died, in fact the main reason, is because Pelican found a May wall that separated him from his immortality field. And now with that Rein ready at the front line, Gator can take so much more space than Washington can. Mag is back, though, and a teleport to the high ground. He's instantly deleted again by another wall that separates him from his immortality field. Pelican is a freak on the May.
Yeah, what a performance. Absolutely sublime. They tried to chop and change as well. Kind of, I think, trying to split up as well, sending a couple of players to the high ground there, but not the intended effect. It just left them behind. And the Atlanta Reign are so quick with the adaptations. The recognition in that scenario, just be like, okay, well, we're just going to jump on Mag instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly.
They had a pet, by the way.
Yeah, that was a nice little stagger onto Fury, wasn't it? I mean, Fury, I do feel for Fury. I mean, it feels like the majority of this series is being getting staggered.
Yeah. That's just the brutal life of a Diva main if your team is not performing at a decent level. I suppose the one advantage here for the Justice in this next team fight is that they have an Amp Matrix to try and play around. On the other side of things, though, I'm looking at the huge difference in ultimate charge between Pelican and Assassin. Assassin kind of wasted his Blizzard in the previous fight, not particularly because of his fault, but the fight was already over by the time he got used.
Blizzard in hand, the Earth Shadow, what a connection! So many players down and out. Stand up, it locks them up with the Blizzard as well. The old 1-2 combo. Oh, we're just witnessing magic And an angry and hungry Atlanta Reign steadily getting closer and closer. They're looking unstoppable.
Gator really giving the MTD to Mag there. The main tank difference. Let's take a look at the replay from his point of view. Mag may have the #1 Reinhardt stats in the league at the moment, but Gator was forged in the fires of Rhine play. This is the man that invented the Goats comp, that set the zeitgeist of 2019. He can't be stopped.
Ultimate's committed. The Justice are really throwing everything out. Both support ults committed from both of these teams to try and stay in this one, but Assassin is already taken out. Mag holding his shield. He doesn't have much left, but he does have the Earth Shatter. Drops it down, sets it up, and Decay happy to clean up. A moment of respite in the middle of all of this. They win out this team fight, and they are going to be stopping it just short of checkpoint B.
Just as I'm singing the praises of Gator, Mag answers back with a huge shatter of his own. We haven't really seen that many full 5-man, 6-man shatters so far in this series, but that is a huge one for Mag to lay down. And exactly before the cart was about to reach that pivotal checkpoint. There's still 3 minutes left here for Atlanta Reign, but they've been stopped for but a moment now.
Yeah, stopping that momentum so important for them. And the Washington Justice, they really can't make any mistakes here on this defense. They've been handed a prime opportunity to try and get that whole boop! That's Massa setting it up! A massive play, Decay taken out, and Gator with another Earth Shatter. They build him up quickly. The Blizzard is used defensively from Assassin just to stop them from trying to press the advance. But is it going to be enough here? The Atlanta Reign still have players online, ready and waiting, and the damage is being done. It's a good immortality field, but is anybody really paying attention to Pelican here? Just freezing them all up as well, getting these right clicks off. No one's really falling too late, but now we see it finally turning around. The Simwall is committed. Decay just drops it down to try and assist his team. I don't even know if it's going to be enough here. Dropping the Blizzard from afar. There's no threat whatsoever of it being 8 up. It's the Atlanta Reign going to be sailing this one into checkpoint B.
What a play from Massa. You're just watching him in this free cam as he flies around. Look at this from his point of view. Isolates the pick, and Decay is so squishy playing that Symmetra. As soon as he's on his own, bursted down in an instant by the Atlanta Reign. What a play from the Lucio.
We were highlighting the Lucio players coming into this. With these compositions, it's so important. Magdo, another Earth Shatter, and that is going to be one target found. Will there be the kill? No, the counterpin. Gator dropping both of them to the floor, and it set them up nicely. The self-destructs dropped out on either side here. They will be getting 1 kill apiece, as Hawk is also going to be demeked, but still a threat. He ends up taking 2 down with him.
The Bunny Blaster takes 2 to the grave, and this momentum from the Atlanta Reign just cannot be stopped right now. Still almost 3 minutes on the clock. Washington Justice, they're getting their way up to a Blizzard, but Pelican is matching it pace for pace. Alt point for alt point with Pelican and Assassin there.
Need to see something big here. Simwall splits him up. The Blizzards as well. Assassin is gone, taken out. Did the Blizzard, he got sent out of his hands. He got cancelled again. No Blizzard for them. They're saving grace in this fight, in a team fight. It's being taken place all over the bloody shop. The Amp Matrix has dropped down. Where are the Washington Justice playing?
That was chaos incarnate there, just for a moment towards the end. There was pressure in the backline. Was that Mag in the Atlanta Reign backline?
They TP'd many players into the backline, dropped the Amp Matrix, sent Mag down there as well.
Absolutely
to try and salvage the situation. But they were just pushing the cart the entire time.
Yeah, I think their intention in that team fight is obviously that the Blizzard blocks the objective and they can fight the backline, but when Assassin dies, he is under so much pressure, man. The Justice just cannot keep him alive no matter what. And every time Bebe tries to throw an immortality field, Pelican is there with a wall that separates a crucial target from that wonderful beacon of immortality.
Yeah. Blocks the line of sight and suddenly they're killable.
Yeah. It's such an underrated part of May's kit. Usually the wall is used to set up win conditions, but removing those clutch saves from the opponent Batiste is also that's as good as a pick. He's been so fantastic with that over the course of not just King's Row but the series. But on King's Row, when everything's so close range, he has way more opportunities. Let's take a look at this final fight though and see the wild stuff that occurred.
And it's that pressure as well. I mean, it forces Assassin, he's thinking, I got to use the Blizzard now, otherwise it's going to be too late. But just that slight hesitation by milliseconds, and that's it. A reminder of the stakes here as well. Elimination match, day 2 of the 2021 Overwatch League playoffs. Washington Justice 1 map away from their season ending right here, right now.
Washington do not want it to end like this. Oh, this is already the first pick. Immortality Field forced out early. Both teams so much damage into the Justice as well. And early on, they look to be crumbling a little bit here. All the Washington fans all season long, Brent, have been saying it doesn't matter. The regular season doesn't matter. It's all about how we perform in the playoffs. And that's true. It really is. For every team that's here right now, it matters how you perform in these games, the elimination games. And we need to see so much more from Washington.
Surely their season just can't end like this. The 3-0 fashion here. The Atlanta Reign matching them in the mirror as well. We need to see a bit more. Ultimate's online for them. Another wall splits them up right across. That's going to be the Amp Matrix used, but there's a lot of healing dedicated there towards Mag just to keep him alive. Teleporting right forwards. The Atlanta Reign are pushed away from their own Amp Matrix, but the Sim wall splits them up. And another perfect May wall. Pelican, again, just completely separates the Washington Justice. Every single team fight, it feels like. Excellent, excellent value being gained.
Yeah, he is the best May in the world for a reason. Multiple reasons, actually. And that's one of them. His wall usage is sublime, and the whole of the Atlanta Reign has a great understanding of how to win in these kind of comps. It's wild that Justice have tried to take them here. Atlanta Reign are just at home right now. This is their comfort zone.
Do have the ults online, but look at that! The shot around the corner, Mag responds to one of his own, but is it going to be enough to save them? With the blizzard overlaying it, they're all in position for it, swinging away. Another instantaneous teamfight win from them.
Oh, Bren, it's brutal to witness. Washington were just taking a moment, a rest, a breather, and Gator swings around the corner and lays down the smack on him. That was almost a cheap shot. It was too easy for Gator.
The Atlanta Reign, they just played his comp at a higher tempo.
Look at those turrets as well, set up to snack on anybody that needs that little health kit.
So the Sim Wars now dropped through. That's going to be in response to that Amp Matrix. Ultimates, everything being chucked at it. The Justice are trying to battle their way through with brute force. Everything dropped down, but the Atlanta Reign, they are losing players now. Kai and Gator are going to be dropped now. A couple of players left standing as they just try and at least stall this one out as well by dropping themselves onto the point. They are going to be falling there. The Justice ended up committing a lot to the fight, eventually rewarded with something.
And we are going to be able to see the second portion of Washington Justice's attack. We need to see them get some momentum going. These kind of maps can be brutal in terms of pushing forwards aggressively, staggering people out. Assassin is already pushed relatively deep up. You can see his position on the May. Coming around the flank, he's ready to backstab Gator.
This is good. You've got to take some risks here, but he's been spotted, marked. Massa right on top of him. A stray icicle, but it has split their attention for but a moment. Mag did drop down that Earth Shatter. Was to find at least one, but Assassin goes down on top of it. The Atlanta Reign. It's so easy for them to just hold at this choke point now. Chucking another ultimate there. Kai just splits them up once more. Teleporters in play. They're going to be, again, splitting their attention every single way here to Justice. They could be in an advantage, but they're already losing too many players. Hawk has cleaned up a lot of them.
And that immortality, the Amp Matrix coming out from Iris turns things around there. It was a nice...
That's good.
Yeah, that is a great pick, actually. You've managed to kill Iris. That's going to gain you a little bit of push here as the Atlanta Reign have to back off. They needed to wait for their respawns anyway. But really, the difference maker there was Decay's teleport. It was really nicely done. They managed to muscle their way past Pelican's wall and get a TP that landed them on top of Kai. If they can take down the opposing Sim early in these fights, there is still a chance. Closer was very weak.
Oh, nice little block there from Assassin. He dodges the Earth Shatter, but that's going to be Gator. Taking out the Fire Strike of Mag. And now, he's going to be leading the charge for the rest of his team, holding up the shield for the time being. Bit of self-destruct, committed to that fight, but Hawk is taken out so can actually get back into the mech. The Justice with a bit more momentum behind them now. They're looking like they're primed to capture now checkpoint B.
Yeah, great execution on that. Closer getting up to his sound barrier earlier on, but here's Massa in response. The Shadow finds Kai, but not too much else. And here comes Pelican's Blizzard.
Yeah, locked up Mag into the corner. The placement of it is good, and Mag, he's got nowhere to run here. Teleporter going to be dealt with. Straight up onto the high ground, but yeah, Mag not long for this world. So Atlanta Reign going to be holding them. Now a minute 30 left. The Washington Justice Got to be trying to at least come into this one. They need to complete the map in its entirety to even have a chance here.
And your key player is Assassin. He holds the key to the Justice winning this team fight and securing the checkpoint. He's got to get a huge Blizzard off. First has to evade the defense matrix of Hawk, then back the Rain up into a corner. That's so difficult when Gator's on the high ground. You've got Pelican up here as well with Iris. They're playing very split because they know the Blizzard's a possibility, and that's such a good headshot.
That is something that's just going to set them up instantly. And Assassin commits the Blizzard. It gets ate up by Hawk. Every single time, the Washington Justice, they feel pressured, cornered in these team fights. Like, they have to take these risks. And it's getting capitalized every single time by the Atlanta Reign. Doesn't matter if it's Pelican, Hawk, Massa, whoever's in the moment. They're just shutting it down. 38 seconds remaining. This could be it. This could be the season for the Washington Justice.
Take a look at this replay as well. Pelican, as he finds that first pick, it's so crucial because it forces mistakes out of Assassin. He feels like he needs to use that Blizzard, like you're saying, Brent. And here's Pelican. This could be brutal. He's looking for a freeze on Mag, probably, so that they can go for a shatter play. Gator's up to 90%. The wall blocks the Ant Matrix as both teams stare at each other through the domes of death.
Now, 12 seconds left, and they've committed ultimates they wanted to use to try and win this team fight. No closer to it now. The Justice, they need something massive. What could they possibly do? The Atlanta Reign just marking them, rotating around. It's going to get into the overtime. Fury dropping down. That self-destruct Gator with the air shot, and Mag returns one of his own. 2 players down, but is it going to be enough? The Blizzard from Pelican. Everybody's frozen up onto the point, but there needs to be a bit more, and it does not look likely. The Justice just unable to pull out really anything here. Desperation from closer as the sound barrier is committed, but for the Atlanta Reign, it's an even better one. And that is going to be that. The Washington Justice sent home. Their 2021 season is over. The Atlanta Reign going to be looking forward to their next match off the back of that domination.
It was a tumultuous season for Washington, and it ends much as it's been over the course of the year. They looked like they had some promise. People believed that they could make a run, and yet it was not to be. Their consistency just couldn't quite step up. For the Atlanta Reign, though, this begins what they are hoping is going to be a nice little streak through the losers bracket. Kai and Pelican all smiles as Gator and Hawk are getting the back rubs too. They've put up a big performance today with a clean 3-0 to continue their dominance in that franchise battle against the Justice. Not a single time have the Justice been able to upset the Reign and take a win, and it ain't going to happen again today.
Yeah, that is one way to start your lower bracket run. A 3-0 is going to be giving you a lot of confidence moving forwards. For the Washington Justice, a couple of smiles as well, as that is going to be their season over. At least they did make it to the playoffs. Not a lot of teams can claim that over the course of this season.
Very true, but I think the expectations were much higher when assembling this roster. Players like Decay and Fury, Assassin and Mag coming out of the runaway squad that did so well in Tier 2. It's been a season of failed potential, I would say, and this playoff run... Can you call it a playoff run?
It's faltered instantly.
It has. It's faltered instantly. But this day is about Atlanta and their continued success.
Yes, and one of the players that was crucial to it, who doesn't get a lot of love, honestly, over the course of a lot of their wins, but our player of the match presented by Xfinity, it's going to be going to Massa this time around. Critical plays, individual, when it comes to a lot of the boops that was happening, separating the position about. The sound barrier times as well were impeccable over the course of this series as well. And you really started to see him come alive and just create these openings for his team over and over again.
Yeah, and it's not just about the clutch plays like this boop and the one to isolate Decay. He was playing phenomenally on an individual basis, but you also have to remember how crucial Lucio is for these comps. When you're playing Rush, when you're playing high tempo like the Atlanta Reign like to do, it's about Massa finding the timings and the coordination for the rest of his team. He's coordinating when they go in, when they disengage, how they take fights, and he's so good at being able to track win conditions for his opponents as well. He's one of the backbones of this Atlanta Reign squad, one of the longest players that we have in terms of his tenure in this kind of team and the Overwatch League in general, actually. An extremely experienced player that's been playing Lucio for the longest of times and is extremely, extremely comfortable when it comes to rush comps, as they demonstrated today.
Yeah, I mean, the Atlanta Reign, definitely got a lot of compositions they like to play. It's in their back pocket, and a bit of flexibility on top of things as well. They're looking nice and steady, I think, heading into this next match that's going to be coming up for them. Of course, they don't, have to jump into that straight away. We've got a few more Overwatch League playoff matches to be played just a bit before that as well. Remember, 3 more matches coming up for the rest of the day.
I hope you're ready.
2, including another elimination match as well. An interview with Iris as well is going to be coming up, so we get to hear directly from them as well about that win and the future moving forwards. But for now, we're going to go to a short break, and on the other side of things, as I've already mentioned, it's going to be day 2 of the 2021 playoffs continuing. We'll see you in a minute.
Line.
Come back.
Left point. Clear point. Secure point.
시민 리얼 컴. I got you. 루슈. 나이스.
알케신.
루슈 원.
Nice. Made it. No?
Real?
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League.
Hello and welcome to Game Break, everybody. I'm here, or we're here, joined now by Iris from the Atlanta Reign. Iris, big congratulations on the win. What a dominant showing from the Atlanta Reign. 아리스 선수 일단 인터뷰 응해주셔서 너무 감사드리고 오늘 승리 너무나 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
Wow. All right, Iris says thank you, and he says wow. Wow is, I think, the answer. Yes, your match today against the Washington Justice was very wow. 아리 선수가 방금 말씀하신 것 같이 오늘 경기 굉장히 와우 했다고 생각을 합니다. All right, let's jump right into the questions. So the first question I have for you, Iris, is, you guys had an unfortunate loss against the Chengdu Hunters yesterday, but you guys were able to dominate the Washington Justice, and it was a very fast 3-0 in favor of the Atlanta Reign. How are you guys able to bounce back so quickly? 자, 첫 번째 질문은 어제 당연히 좀 아쉽게 청두 헌터스에게 좀 패배를 한 후 어떻게 보면은 살짝 분위기가 좀 다운될 수도 있어서 제가 오늘 좀 걱정을 살짝 했거든요. 아틀란타가 어떤 모습을 보여줄지. 하지만 오늘 완전히 180도 다른 모습으로 나타나서 굉장히 막강하고 굉장히 좋은 모습을 저스티스를 상대로 보여주신 것 같습니다. 좀 어떻게 보면은 굉장히 짧은 시간 안에 완전히 다른 모습을 보여주셨는데요. 이게 어떻게 이런 좀 빠른 회복이 어떻게 해서 가능했나요?
일단 청두전을 저희가 저번에 했었잖아요. 근데 그때 3대0 나는 바람에 조금 우울했었는데 이번에는 충분히 이길 수 있다고 생각해서 잘 해왔는데 이게 저번보다는 더 좋은 결과가 나왔기 때문에 저희가 또 이제 준비한 만큼 그래도 잘 보여줬다고 생각해서 이제 다음 경기는 우리가 더 보여준 준비한 게 분명 다 통할 거다라고 생각해서 자신감 가지고 열심히 해서 워싱턴 전 잘 으쌰으쌰 한 것 같습니다.
Okay, 알겠습니다. As you guys all know, last time that we played against the Chengdu Hunters, we lost to them 3-0. But this time around, it was as we all saw yesterday, it was a very close match against the Chengdu Hunters, even if we lost. So even when we lost, we knew that there was a possibility for us to beat the Chengdu. Of course, it didn't happen, but we weren't really let down by that because we saw a light of hope in our play, and because of that, we were sort of confident going into the match against the Washington Justice today. And because yesterday's match, again, even if we lost, we knew that we had a good showing for our fans and everyone who was watching the matches. So we were very confident, and we didn't lose hope in ourselves coming into today's match, and I think that really helped us get the win against the Washington Justice. All right, now my second question for you, Iris, is again, I'm sorry that I'm keep bringing the Chengdu Hunters loss, but I sort of have to and this is a good thing, because although you guys did lose to the Chengdu Hunters, I honestly believe you guys have been just looking like amazing, really, really good so far in the playoffs. What do you think the Atlanta Reign is sort of, how are you guys different from all the other teams that are in the playoffs? 자, 두 번째 질문은 일단 좀 자꾸 이렇게 청두와의 경기에서 진 거를 자꾸 이렇게 말씀을 해서 좀 죄송하긴 하지만은 어제 진 것뿐만 아니라 오늘도 그렇고 제가 봤을 때는 아틀란타가 지금 프로브에서 좀 굉장히 좋은 모습을 항상 보여주고 있다고 개인적으로 생각을 하는데 아이리스 선수가 보시기에 개인적으로 아틀란타만이 좀 특색이 있다면, 좀 다른 팀들과의 좀 다른 점이 있다면 뭐가 있을까요?
일단은 게이터가 저희 팀을 조금 힘을 내게 좀 잘 해주는 것 같아요. 이제 말로 이제 상대편을 살짝 좀 하면서, 그러다 보니까 저희가 또 이제 또 힘 얻고, 그러다 보니까 이제 또 저희도 이제 그 힘 얻고 이제 잘 하지 않나. 상대팀은 잘 하지 않을 수도 있는. 네.
알겠습니다. Alright, so I think what sets the Atlanta Reign apart is we have our main tank Gator. He really helps the team to sort of rally us up, to amp us up, and by talking about our opponents, sort of bringing them down a little bit and boosting up our morale that way. And Iris didn't go into details, but I think we all know what that means. Gator likes to talk about their opponents, and probably just saying that the Atlanta Reign is a little better during the matches. Iris, did I get that right? 그 말이 맞죠? 아이리스 선수 이렇게 좀 상대편보다 우리가 잘한다. He nods. You don't have to say it. We all know. We all know. All right, Iris, that is it for the interview. Thank you so much for your time. And again, big congratulations and good luck tomorrow. 자, 이걸로 인터뷰 마치겠고요. 아이리스 선수 재밌는 답변 너무나도 감사드리고 또 오늘 승리 너무나 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go back, everybody. Follow me.
Follow his lead. Thank you so much, Iris. Congratulations to the Atlanta Reign. And with that victory, they will live to fight another day in the losers bracket. But that also means that the Washington Justice are now officially out of the playoffs. But it was great to see them giving it a go. So, of course, a big congratulations to the entire team for a great season as well. We did have a lot of great moments, a lot of things to talk about, ups and downs, as all of the teams have seen. So, yeah. Everything's a learning experience, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's sort of it. Washington has had a pretty, as you said, shaky season throughout the entirety of it. They've had ups and downs, but I was hoping they would zig, but they zagged in this match. Instead of really rallying behind their brawl style and taking to Atlanta Reign, I thought they were going to be confident in the way that they were going to be playing the game, because Atlanta's probably diversifying themselves a little bit much. But Atlanta Reign just put on a masterclass of how you play the brawl and proving why they are the best team in the world, I think, at this composition, on the back of Gator's very positive reinforcement that I'm sure he's giving the team that Iris just told about. So they had that confidence, and I was a little worried that Atlanta wasn't going to come in with that because of that pretty tragic loss to the Chengdu Hunters. But even online on Twitter, when I saw the players writing about it, they didn't even seem that bummed. They seemed like it was a learning experience. Like they knew that they were close to getting that victory against Chengdu Hunters, someone that they haven't been able to beat all season. So I'm excited to see more of this Atlanta Reign team. I apologize to the team and that kind of stuff for not believing in them, because they deserve to be believed in. Yeah. And Washington Justice, they let me down one last time before the season.
Well, gotta end on such a note, right? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I also do have to say, I don't want to bring the mood down. The Washington Justice, they are eliminated now from the playoffs, but I did, I gotta say it. This was the last time we got to see Fury play off tank in the Overwatch League in 6 vs 6, because of course we're moving over to Overwatch 2 next season. Fury, an absolute legend of the sport. I mean, an Overwatch League champion.
You make it sound as if he's never going to play Overwatch again.
Well, I mean,
but keep in mind, like, this is an opportunity for everyone to maybe diversify their hero repertoire, and that this is now your chance to pick up a main tank or something else. Like, this is something we've seen happen before. People can switch roles; it's not impossible.
Absolutely, I'm just very nostalgic, every day, every
I just want to bring it down.
I'm nostalgic about yesterday's pre-show, and just like so. I am going to be nostalgic about Fury playing off-tank in 6 vs 6 in the Overwatch League, because Fury is an amazing player, one of the best off-tank players we've ever had in Overwatch. And, well, I mean, whether you like it or not, Overwatch 1 is about to wrap up with Overwatch 2 around the corner, and Fury has been a big part of Overwatch esports history.
Yeah, and now Fury DPS is on the horizon.
There you go. Lock it in.
Why not? Why not? Give it a shot. But yeah, great performance by Atlanta Reign. I feel like they made a statement today and really, really came in with confidence. Love to hear also in the post-game interview, of course, that they didn't get boomed by the victory, because some teams, that will get to you if it's such a close match and you are having the upper hand for the majority of it, then falling short at last second. That can break a lot of teams. That can break your mental. For them to just use that as a positive spin, thinking like, hey, well, we got so close, so we can do it. Like, it's doable, and it definitely is. So it was great to see them taking the upper hand in that brawl mirror match, and that's how they got it done. But that means we are now getting ready for our second match: Philadelphia Fusion and the San Francisco Shock. Now, both these teams performed below expectations yesterday, but based on the performances we've seen from either, do you have a clear favorite heading into this Reinforce?
It's very tough, because I think we can all agree on that the potential of these teams, when they play at their absolute best, it is a very high level, and they could challenge some of these other playoff teams. But as you said, Zoe, yesterday, not the best of showings for either of these two teams. Of course, the San Francisco Shock, they got 3-0'd by the Shanghai Dragons, and it didn't look pretty. They had their moments on Ilios, of course. They looked fairly decent playing the Sombra, Reaper composition, and as well as King's Throw, as Costa addressed in the pre-show. They found their moments at times, but they need to bring that consistently, and maybe Shock can be the favorite in this matchup. Now, the Philadelphia Fusion, of course, they were a bit all over the place, so you covered it in the pre-show as well. They couldn't really find their grooves when it comes to the hero picks, and they couldn't really find a composition that spoke to them in the same way. So I feel like the Shock, they at least showed us some clear moments where they looked really good against a top contender like the Shanghai Dragons. Maybe lean on that Lucio Moira dive composition and make that your own, and maybe you can beat some of these other teams. Philadelphia Fusion, maybe some bigger overhaul to your strategic input into this match itself, because I want to see them stick to 1 or 2 compositions, lean into what you're good at, maybe put Alarm as one of your focal points on Ana and Sen, and that can be your win condition in this match.
I mean, to be fair, they both went up against some absolute juggernauts, right? So that does make it hard to look good. Alas, they ended up in our losers bracket, and only one team will advance and the other one is gone. So let's take a look at our predictions, our picks for this very match. I am excited to see if we're all... we're all in agreement. I mean, for me, it was the I'm not sure if it's an inability or just a refusal to play the Sombra matchups. That's what tipped it over for me, where I'm just like, I'm not having faith in them being able to play that composition, which I feel like you need to be able to play right now against certain other compositions. I'm not seeing Philly doing that, so I had to give it to the Shock.
As you said, Philly sort of boomed themselves out of that match. They played against great opponents. They both did get absolutely destroyed against their respective opponent, but I think Shock had more signs of life. Even though they didn't get a map and Philly did, I think Shock looked more put together. I'm worried for Philly if they're going to be able to patch it together. If anyone could, it would be Philly.
Yeah. It would be a Philly thing to do,
It would be a very Philly thing to do, but I don't have the faith that they can have that turnaround in such a short amount of time.
I will say, I do want to see Philadelphia come out and look explosive. I want them to set the tempo, be aggressive, because that is when they play their best. You're playing against the San Francisco Shock. This is an opportunity to play your own game, Philadelphia. And when you do that, you look so much better in these matches.
I mean, for Danny also, your overall season predictions are on the line.
Oh, yeah?
You did predict a 3-peat. So this is all or nothing.
Yeah.
You might get punishment otherwise.
San Francisco. I believe in you.
There you go.
Also, Brand's mustache, right?
Oh, that's
also true.
All on the line.
Wow, so much on the line, and not just for Philly, for us, really, as well. So, with that said, we are going to hand it over to our phenomenal casters, Josh and Bren. Guys, who do you got for this match?
I mean,
okay, I am the biggest Shock fan you'll ever meet, but I think we were seeing a lot of Shock support there. You're sending some energy into universe, and you know Philly is going to feed off of that.
It's true. That is very true. Okay, well, do you guys disagree? Do you guys think that Philly has a better edge than the San Francisco Shock?
The one thing I like, and I think that Philly have got going for them, is that they do play a variety of different stuff, whereas Shock are very much locked in to Rush. And the Zombie and the Lucio Moira.
Yeah, which both of those comps play in a kind of similar style. I would say, judging by what they did on their route into the playoffs, I would have more faith in Philadelphia, but my faith in Philly was rattled during their game against the Gladiators because the compositional swaps that they were making and the kind of way in which they were approaching things was very disjointed, didn't have too much synergy to it. I think my biggest takeaway, though, was that both of those teams were outclassed. In my opinion, both of these teams were playing against the two favorites for the tournament in general, Shanghai and Gladiators. So I'm thinking this could be a pretty even game where both teams have their chances, whereas they were both stifled in that opening match.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it personally. I think both of these teams have got.
I just want to shave Bren's mustache. That's all I'm looking
That's
at.
another thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
See. Thank you
no,
very
I want
much,
to win my season prediction.
You set the expectations here. Yeah, I did say that if Shock get eliminated, I will finally shave the mustache. But if they three-peat, I'm getting a mullet and the mustache stays. So
it's a mullet and a mustache?
Yeah, if Shock end up getting a three-peat...
Are you committing to this?
I'm shaving the sides, we're getting the mullet,
it's not
we're keeping
declaring
the
sun.
stash.
I still can't quite identify the thing going on in your face as a mustache, so I don't think anything's lost
Listen,
there.
it looks like dirt, I know, but listen, one day, maybe in like 15 years, it'll grow into something that looks respectable, but until then...
I think I grow a beard before you will. That's all I'm saying.
I mean... You're not wrong. I don't know what to say to that. I can't grow facial. Anyway, let's get the game going. Goodbye, Desk. You're having way too much fun in Hawaii.
I know, it's
way
brutal,
too much fun.
Brutal.
Let's get this game underway. I am excited. This is two franchises with tons of history, of rivalry between them as well, in terms of expectations that are set as well by the fan bases for each region as well, or each team, I should say. And I don't know which direction it's going to go in. The Shock,
it's crazy.
The Shock, I think, they've locked in, they've committed to these compositions, and they seem determined. They're going to play the rush, they're going to play the zombie comps. Philly, very flexible, but sometimes that flexibility got the better of them.
Yes, it definitely did. They kind of seemed paralyzed by choice and made some odd compositional swaps. If we want to talk a little bit about history, though, neither of these teams have had opportunities to fight against each other because despite being amazing rosters, neither team made it to a stage final throughout the whole of this year. And the last times they've played against each other, well, they played 4 times in the 2020 season where both squads were the #1 and #2 coming out of the West. That is amazing history and a rivalry that developed last year against both of these teams, or with both of these teams. And we know that the caliber of players on both of these rosters is through the roof. So as long as they have a good read on what kind of comps they want to play and the style and strategy they want to bring to the game, this should be a barn burner.
All right, well, I want to get this game underway. Let's finally introduce our first team. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Philadelphia Fusion.
The Fusion are back. They're contenders once more. Fusion look reinvigorated.
Carpe has come to play today, man.
EQO. Oh, he takes it to the backside.
Masterclass by the damage dealers of the Philadelphia Fusion.
The Philadelphia Fusion will push it through. Hotma has the alley. Oh, are you kidding? Alarm does it all. One of the very best players in the entire Overwatch League. The Fusion are back. They're contenders once more. Rascal manages to find 4. Both supports, both tanks.
For the Fusion, they absolutely are going to be giving it their all. They do not want to get eliminated right here, right now. This roster finally bringing everybody together. Poco just flew into Korea as well. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't, actually.
I don't think he's going to be seeing any play time, but at least he's there, you know, just to be with the rest of the team. But they're finally getting that synergy going as a roster, and you don't want to see that potential getting squandered straight away in the beginning of the playoffs.
Absolutely not. This is the kind of the caliber of player that is on this roster should have been able to perform at a much higher level this year, but they were hamstrung by visa issues, by problems with getting their full roster in place. They started out with a ridiculous 4-0 performance in the main melee and still weren't able to make the stage finals. It feels like this team has been cursed from the very off in the 2021 season, and now that they finally have this backline together, Alarm and Funny Astro, we're gonna be able to see them go up against another greatest of all time potential for backlines with the combination of Twilight and Violet and FD God on the other side of things. But Alarm and Funny Astro are not going to feel outclassed by anybody. You can stand them toe-to-toe against any backline in the league.
Let's introduce their opponents. A rivalry that really stretches quite far back. Please put your hands together for the San Francisco Shock.
The Shock are starting to feel it a little bit now, Mitch. They're starting to play that aggressive style and play aggressive as a unit.
Crack back again. This is 2020 Shock. This is championship winning Shock.
Smurf, what a performance! The primal rage of 2 kills. Joy Yobin, what is that? The Shock, this could be their tournament to ascend back to previous form.
While again living the life of the DPS player on the Baptiste, they look extremely well oiled.
Oh, you madman!
That is ridiculous! That is actually ridiculous! You have got to be joking.
The Shock are ready to rumble and they're already rocking and socking.
For the San Francisco Shock, everything is on the line for this match, quite literally. The expectations of the three-peat of making history, it could just all disappear right here, right now in this elimination match.
But the Shock, the reason that people believe in them, the reason the desk, the fan vote, you've staked your hair on it.
I have.
All of the community as a whole is high on the Shock, despite the fact that they haven't been the best team in the West this year. And the biggest reason for that, in my opinion, is that we've seen a story similar to this in 2019. Okay, in 2019, they did dominate the regular season, at least the latter portion of it, but they lost their first game of the playoffs. It was a 3-4 match to the Atlanta Ravens Rain, and then they ran it back, going 20-0 in maps to win the championship and hoist the trophy for the first time. Then they're able to come into the 2020 season and hoist the trophy again, becoming the back-to-back defending champions for the 2021 season. It's been rough. Their new additions, the loss of some coaching staff members, has made the Shock not quite the juggernauts that they were in the past, but it still feels like it could happen.
Oh, it certainly could. A lot of people have their faith behind this roster, this squad, and the pressure that's on their shoulders as well to perform. I mean, it's hard to even empathize and think about it from their perspective as well. But they've got to do it here and now. And both of these teams, both of these franchises, the fans are expecting more. The Philadelphia Fusion fans, for the longest time, they want to see this team go far. Nepal is going to be the first map that we're seeing these teams play against one another as well. And it's going to really set, I think, the tone overall for this series and how it's going to be playing out.
The Philadelphia Fusion fans have waited a long time to win something. It feels like this year they were scorned many different times by events outside of their control, but if they were able to make a run from the lower bracket, it would mean the world to them, especially defeating the defending champions right here. Half the teams in the Overwatch League, Bren, have hoisted some kind of trophy, be it a stage final or a championship, whatever, before the Philadelphia Fusion. It's been painful to see the Philadelphia Fusion fans have such talented rosters and go so far. The 2018 Grand Finals, both of these teams representing the West in the Final Four for 2020. And this year they match up against one another. Philadelphia Fusion love running these Balls End kind of compositions. You're going to see quite a lot of that from them. And the Shock, I would expect to see them playing Rush here on Nepal to start things out. Who will impose their will upon the other first? One team is likely to crumble and break when you have such a distinct stylistic matchup.
Yeah, these teams, I mean, they've really put a lot of their stock in these different compositions. For the Shock, it's all about these Rush compositions, all about Lucio Moya. For the Fusion, they are a lot more flexible than that, but Shockwave caught out on the side there. Not sure how that happened. Presumably the flashbang to lock them up, but an early pick like that is going to be setting, I think, the tone here for the Shock. They're going to be able to get control of this point when it unlocks in 2 seconds, or at least be advantaged in the next fight.
Philadelphia Fusion's tanks. Oh my word, another headshot coming out from Nero, long range, both looking like snipers, both DPS from the Shock. They don't even have Ants in.
What a wall. Yeah. Blocking them off for a moment here. Now the Shock going to be looking to get a bit of that percentage up. The Shock so far have not really showcased that they are really willing to flex over to these different compositions that the APAC teams have been playing.
Yeah, not too much Balls End been showcased for the Shock. Super, I guess you could argue, the more flexible tank, if anything, especially when you consider that they want to move over to Ryan at times. But there has been a lot of stirrings within the community asking, where is Smurf? Where is Smurf? It's not going to matter if you get these early picks before a team fight can even occur.
Power drive engage there from Mano just off to the side. Alarm needs to be kept safe. He is a major win condition for this team as well, being able to just pump out the damage, staying alive. For the Fusion, they're just looking for that one opportunity, that one engagement. Wall's going to be splitting up here. The Shock now just all grouped together. They're making it very difficult for really the Fusion to find any kind of separation that they might be able to get a pick off. Glister, that is an aggressive angle to take, but his team is going to be backing him up.
Hopper has been frozen in the midst of all of that as well, and Mano looks like he got booped, and that was a Deadeye through the Amp Matrix as well. Mano, the little skulls pop up on Mano instantly there, despite his enormous health pool.
No way to get out of it. Already, in the blink of an eye, 67%, by the way, on this control point in this initial round.
Are the Fusion in the game? The Fusion are in the game, right? They are fighting. They do know what they're supposed to be doing, right?
They need to get something. Carpe will be marking one of his targets. The power drive engage as well comes in at the same time. It forces out the immortality field. Pulse bomb in hand. Carpe is going to connect. That is a lovely kill. Glister falling now, but it is the 1-for-1 as Mano ends up trading with his own life for it. That's going to be almost 90% in counting for the Shock. They're still in this fight.
Super's taking a ton of damage. Alarm commits the Discord orb over to Nero, pops Transcendence as well, as the rest of Philly forge forwards.
Yeah, right across as well, committing all the ultimates. It's going to be the overtime over here. The Shock actually want to be investing into this. FD God ends up using the Samurai. They think they can still win this one, and why not? Already the DPS are popping off. Shockwave out of the fight now. if the Shock can at least group up here and survive for the oncoming assault, not going to be able to do so. The Philadelphia Fusion are able to at least collect a lot of these kills when it was looking shaky.
Crucial cleanup from Hopper as he takes down 2, 3, maybe might get the finish here on Super as well, but did a great job in the midst of that team fight. He's been taken down, however, and this does open a bit of a window of opportunity for the Shock to start getting back into this fight. The Fusion with Funny Astro, who took an icicle to the head earlier on, still have that rally and almost double support ultimate because Alarm does so much damage in the fights.
Yeah, rally is committed, but Shockwave gone again. Glister is finding so many pickoffs. The post form is going to be a connect. And Super brought down to about half HP, but it just forces the ultimates out of them. With the Amp Matrix dropped down, it means Mano again taken out. No tanks online for them. Hopper just trying to survive. The points flipped back over, but it's just Alarm. The Transcendence to try and stall this one out. He did get the pick onto Violet, but is it? Surely it's not going to be enough. Funny Astro just battered away, swatted by the big hammer of Super here. Fusion going to be rolling on to the point. The objective just to try and keep this overtime going. They might be able to at least prolong this fight, but it doesn't look good for them.
Incredibly limp first round there for the Philadelphia Fusion. They need to get sorted, get more of a grip into these rounds. It's very difficult, though, when the San Francisco Shock's DPS start things off with picks all over the place. Shockwave died before the first team fight could begin, and then Alarm got picked off about 15 seconds later, and that essentially gave a free 40% and ult cycle towards the Shock, which is a horrendous way to start a round if you're thinking about things from Fusion's perspective.
We see the Shock are teasing something here. I feel like Violet and FD are not ones to really mess around. Nice little replay from earlier, actually. This is when Super ended up getting that pin. Honestly, round winning for them, to be honest with you. Getting that trade kill onto Hopper, it set them up for a nice team fight next time around. But here we go, rolling out. The Shock are going to be coming out with something a little bit different.
Yeah, they've run these kind of comps a couple of times before in the past. The double shield with BAP Mercy. They're one of the few teams in the league that are happy to run BAP Mercy compositions. Usually when you see a Pharah Mercy, there's going to be an Ana on the floor, but Violet is just so good at Batiste at being able to put down the healing and the damage pressure that he's very happy to pull that one out when required too. For Philadelphia, they need to be very careful with their rotates. They've got to stay away from Nero. Nero has to do damage whilst avoiding the sight line of Shockwave.
Yeah, good rotations here from the Fusion, but the Shock will be taking control of the point up. A bit of contest coming through from them. It's Mana just trying to make sure that they don't get it too easily. An Immortality Field is forced out early as well. Nero looking for a pick with these rockets, but again, point control goes their way. That's just from the Fusion trying to out-rotate them, maybe catch a player, maybe get the opening pick that they're looking for, but so far, it's quite slow in terms of the way that they're approaching it.
You would really want to see Hopper there, or Mano, contest the objective. How on earth does Alarm
just
die?
Just a halt into the spam!
Yeah, Super got juggled upwards somehow as well, didn't he? Was that the pile drive that allowed him that sight line to even see the Zen?
Oh, not over yet, though. They're getting a lot of pickoffs. Super actually ended up moving over to the objective there just to stop them from capping it. And it meant that they didn't actually have him there to take up a lot of the damage that was coming their way.
These are incredibly different compositions again. The Shock's comp, the two tanks are not usually going to be layering their shields together, but more playing on off angles, so Choyobin can play on the opposite side of the map to the Shock. And the Fusion's comp wants to kind of rotate away from the Shock and continue to do poke damage with Shockwave and Alarm, whilst Carpe can harass Violet in the backline and try and distract their team.
Oh, what a need from Choi with the grass there. That's going to be no value gain from him. What a rock as well, Choi! You gotta be kidding me. Carpe just shut down there, the prediction coming through. Nero as well is causing so much pain and suffering for the Fusion. No one really dealing with him. Now we start to see the ultimates committed though. That's going to be the Gravitic Flux. Hopper is going to be rewarded. That's Violet taken out, but Nero, it's going to be a little two-piece for them. It's an even fight, but Bob is doing all the work. Shockwave just sets it down. It locks up the objective. They can't really play it, and Choi, I wonder as well, he's kind of left alone here. Does he still think he might be able to do this one? The power drive to save him. Mano is alive in this one. The grass though from Choi is a bit of a last-ditch effort, and it's only going to be staggering him. The
Philadelphia Fusion retaining control of the point there is crucial for them. They have such a mobile comp. In theory, Mano should be able to keep this objective alive for Philly, even when Shock are winning the team fight pretty significantly. Nero's now made the swap over to Tracer. FD got to Brig as well. A bit more of a brawly comp for the Shock. Should be able to run down players like Hopper in the backline if they can get angles onto them.
It's a nice little stun there. Mano able to roll really anywhere here. Glister just going to be channeling up the Deadeye. Takes out one of the shields. Looking for a few more shots though. The flashbang also connecting, but not enough to disrupt that power driver that does come through. A lot of damage onto them. The tank line of the Shock is in trouble. And Matrix is committed off to the side, but going to be able to get anything else from this one? No, the Fusion are just happy to just play backwards. 97% now. The Shock have to start contesting and have to start pressing across this point. They need something a bit more.
And now the Shock are forced to make compositional changes as well. Super on the ball allows him to contest the objective. Nero was trying to play the point as well, but he gets taken down by Alarm. There goes Choyobin, and suddenly the Fusion have a gigantic advantage.
Yeah, this just looks like the Fusion going to be walking away with this one now. Way too many pickoffs going away of the Philadelphia Fusion. A nice rebound, honestly, off the back of that initial round when it really looked like they weren't even in it.
Yeah, and crucially too, every time a Shock player would play the objective, be it Choyobin or towards the end there when it was Super Nero, you're facing a crossfire barrage coming out from Alarm on the Zen in the backline, and then Shockwave as well on a separate off angle. No matter where you position on the point, if you're trying to cap that objective, you are taking fire from the Philadelphia Fusion backline. Look at this, for example, on Alarm. Nero's just out in the open trying to take a duel on the point with a Discord orb on him and Alarm shooting him. No matter where you position on that point, you are out in the open, and Philly position themselves beautifully to capitalize. But here we go, some good old-fashioned Overwatch to finish things out on Nepal.
Yeah, they're going to be matching up the compositions as well. This is the flexibility of the Fusion really showcasing it. Sound from what a wall! Super just separated from the entirety of his team, and it's an easy pick for them.
I do not think they were expecting Philadelphia to be coming out there with a Symmetra. The Sim and the speed boost allow Philly to get there so much faster, and Hopper has that extra damage, the poke that comes from Sigma rather than running a Diva. Philly read that push and destroyed the main tank.
Still time for them though. They're going to be trying to play around the point. The Accretion's going to be connecting now for the Shock. They have a bit of an advantage if they try and take the up close and personal brawl fight, and there you can see Hopper just gets ran over. Shockwave though, fully charged up, is going to be putting out a ton of damage, but so is Glister. The opposing side, the Symmetra players, definitely putting in a lot of work here. Glister, okay, just wants to try and destroy that teleporter. He's going to be putting in the damage as well, so the Shockwave eventually goes down.
And that advantage is very short-lived for Philly. They were happy just for, what, 10 seconds, 15 seconds? Now they're going to have to attack again. Carpe has managed to generate a little more of his May ultimate. You don't normally see Carpe on these roles as well. Usually they'd have Rascal coming in to play the May for them. But you have to play a huge range of comps when you're playing Nepal.
Okay, a bit of a loss in direction there. Matrix into the corner, dropped down. That's FD got taken out.
Lucio diff.
Yeah, Simwall is also in play. Super wants to let loose this shatter, but everybody's hiding behind it, waiting for the opportunity. Stunned up right around the corner, and he's got 2 shields to worry about. The wall is going to be splitting them up now with the Blizzard on top of it. The Shock are just trying to back away. I don't know if they want to take this fight. They're just getting ran over. And crucially for the Fusion, they did manage to flip that point over as well without too much. They've been building up the percentage the entire time.
Gorgeous call from Philadelphia, though, to invest that Blizzard. You might be thinking, well, they were winning the team fight. Why did Carpe throw his ultimate away? But the Shock were regrouping, waiting to push back in. And if they'd allowed time for Nero to get up to his ult, they would have had a serious battle on their hands. This way, they maintain control of the objective, and Shock are going to be the ones on the back foot, despite having an ult advantage.
There's the shatter going to be blocked up now. Super with one of his own in hand. Doesn't even want to offload it. But the Simwall and the Blizzard, the Shock committing into that fight, it's just an instantaneous win for them.
Superb wall from Nero as well. I was talking about the fact that Philly should be able to read this push coming through, but it doesn't matter if you get walled like that. They didn't rotate quickly enough, and they all got stuck between a rock and a hard place. Nero with the wall at their backs. Look at this from Mano. Oh, this is the previous team fight? Oh, no, there's this one.
Oh, Carpe.
Yeah, brutal, that one.
Yeah. We see another quick engagement, though. The teleport onto the point, the shot around the side. Super does not get anything from it. Hopper instantly uses the Gravitic Flux, wants to try and find some value from it, and will connect it onto a bunch of targets. With Choi taken out now, the Shock don't have much firepower coming into this next fight. They're at a massive disadvantage, especially with Violet falling.
Immortality Field is so much later for Philadelphia as well due to all of that initial damage, and it keeps Mano alive, allows him to play that aggressively, and they take the lead once more. This round has been so back and forth. Alarm has an Amp Matrix to be able to work with. The Shock have been going for straight TPs to the point pretty much every time.
Yeah.
So Philly a position on the high ground ready to react to this, and that high ground is also a phenomenal place for Alarm to use his ult.
Now what do the Shock do against this? The ult disadvantage, they don't have control of the point. To clear away a lot of these turrets, the wall is good. Right round the corner, Super, Earthshatter in hand, tries to go for the pin, almost catches onto it, and now they're down and out! Funny Astro committed a sound barrier, but I think it was completely blocked by Nero's wall. What a play in the moment, taking that one away from them, and a lot of ultimates committed from Fusion with nothing gained.
Yeah, that's the most devastating part about it. Funny Astro's ultimate gets 0 value. It did actually go off, but there weren't enough players around to be able to see the benefits. And now Fusion, they're trying to push back in. They have a Blizzard to their name. But look at the positioning of the Shock. They're so far forwards. This looks like a kind of trap play.
Yeah,
they're going to try and catch them as they teleport to the point.
They're playing fast, straight off the back of it. Philadelphia Fusion are going to have to get a good read on it, but they've already taken way too much damage. This could be the map. Blizzard dropped down. Carpe just trying to lock them up for his team to clean it up. It could still be possible. Hopper, the Gravitic Flux. It does connect onto a few, but they've lost so many players now. It's going to take a miracle for them. Swinging away. Super's going to be separated from the team, but the wall from Nero, it doesn't allow them to touch. And that's the San Francisco Shock taking map number 1. It couldn't have been closer.
It really couldn't. That final round was so back and forth, decided by some enormous individual plays. But one player that was consistent throughout it, and was consistent yesterday on Control as well, is Nero for the Shock. Yesterday it was on Reaper, today on May. In that final hour, those walls were crucial at being able to split, divide, and conquer the Fusion.
And this series is really kind of playing out in a kind of fashion where we're going to be getting the answer to our question. Is it better to play a variety of different compositions like the Fusion have been doing, or is it better to try and focus your attention onto just a handful like the Shock have been doing? Well, we'll be finding out the answer as well on the other side of this break, as we're going to be continuing the rest of this series. Map 2 coming up in just a few.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.